Matjiesfontein, 1912. Frederik Coetzee, a young signalman working the night shift, lodged a train entering the siding at 01:13 am. It appeared normal at first, 3 carriages, low light, silent. But when he stepped outside the station house, the train was gone. No noise, no breeze, not even the scent of coal. Only the lantern by his door was still swinging. They say if you're alone in the Karoo and the wind dies down, you can hear it. The low whistle of a train that hasn't run in decades, a ghost train, chasing tracks long buried under sand. In the heart of South Africa lies the Karoo, a vast, sun-scorched plateau stretching over 4,000 square kilometers. Silent, empty, timeless. But beneath the dry winds and thorny brush, something lingers. For generations, locals, railway workers and travellers have spoken in hushed tones about a chilling legend, the ghost train of the Karoo. They say it comes after midnight. No steam, no metal. Just a long, mournful whistle echoing across the desert, and sometimes the rattle of wheels, even when there's no track in sight. The story begins in the late 1800s, during the expansion of the Cape Government's railways. One line cut deep through the Karoo, connecting the coast to Kimberley and beyond. Dozens of workers died building it, crushed under rockfalls, lost to disease, or vanishing during sandstorms. Locals believe some of them never left. By the early 1900s, strange reports began surfacing near Matjiesfontein, a remote station surrounded by dry hills. Railway operators on the night shift spoke of a train that came through, but never stopped. No scheduled service, no confirmation, just the gust of wind and then silence. Despite being dismissed by skeptics, sightings of the ghost train of the Karoo have been reported for over a century. Most of the stories came from the isolated farmsteads, railway sidings and night travellers, each eerily similar, but spaced out by decades. Here are some of the most chilling accounts. Beaufort West, 1977. Peter van Zyl, a farmer living 20 kilometers outside Beaufort West, was awoken one July night by a horrible metal-on-metal screeching. He rushed outside thinking his boil pump had seized. Instead, he saw a shimmer of light moving across the distant veld, a white beam sweeping over the horizon. Then came the unmistakable sound of a crash. He drove out at sunrise. Nothing. No debris, no tracks. Only a burnt patch of grass where the light had been. Toes River, 1994. 2 German backpackers camping near the old Toes River siding experienced what they believed was a passing train around 2:30 am. Their tent vibrated and they heard the rhythmic clank of wheels. They peeked out and saw a dull orange glow in the fog, like old oil lamps. One later described hearing footsteps on gravel, even though there was no station or platform nearby. The next morning, they found their fire pit toast and footprints circling their tent. The Dorings, 2017. In August 2017, a commuter driving late from Worcester to the Dorings claimed he saw a light flickering on the old rail line just beyond the bridge. As he slowed down, he noticed the silhouette of a train crossing the track. It was completely silent, and when his headlights caught the side of the locomotive, the number on the front was backwards. He blinked and it was gone. but his phone's clock had jumped forward 14 minutes. One of the most compelling stories is the story of Elsa Becker in 2003. Elsa was born in 1946 and raised on a remote farm near the Hex River railway line. As a child, she would often hear a distant whistle late at night, followed by a low rumble that shook the windows. Her father, a stoic man who never scared easily, would react instantly. He would bolt the windows, snuff the lamps, and order everyone away from the front room. He told her, "It only comes for those who look at it." One night, when Elsa was about 9 years old, curiosity got the better of her. She snuck out after hearing the whistle again and ran barefoot across the veld to the edge of the track. She remembers seeing a black train, silent and slow-moving. Its carriages slick with what looked like oil or rain. In the last window, she claimed to see a figure, pale, mouth open, pressed against the glass, as if screaming. She passed out from fear. The next morning, her father found her lying beside the fence, her feet blackened from the cold and her fingernails torn, as if she had clawed at the earth. Elsa never married. She became a reclusive schoolteacher, and in her later years gave only one recorded interview to the local newspaper. She ended with this line, "It is not a ghost train, it's something worse. Ghosts have places to be. This one just wanders." Local legend says a train derailed near the Hex River Pass in the 1800s. The records are unclear. Some say it carried British soldiers. Others says it was a supply train. It crashed into a ravine during heavy fog. Everyone on board died. Some say the wreck was cleared quietly. No one wanted it public. But that didn't stop the sightings. To this day, residents from the Dorings to Laingsburg speak of a feeling that comes just before it passes. The air grows thick, the jackals stop howling, and then the train. Skeptics, historians, and paranormal researchers have all weighed in on the so-called ghost train of the Karoo. While no official record confirms the existence of a supernatural locomotive, several theories attempt to explain the chilling sightings. Some rational, others rooted in psychology and geography. The ghost train of the Karoo is truly a fascinating story, but what we always need to ask ourselves is, can it be true? The Karoo is notorious for temperature fluctuations, low humidity, and unique light conditions, especially during full moon or misty evenings. Heat haze and temperature inversions can bend light across vast distances, making far-off headlights, campfires, or train lights appear closer, or even distorted into ghostly shapes. Some scientists believe that what people describe as a train gliding silently across the plains may actually be light reflections from distant towns or farms, magnified by dust particles and fog. Others have speculated that residual hauntings, especially recordings of traumatic events, could explain recurring sightings. It is believed that intense emotions or catastrophic moments might imprint themselves on a place. If true, the Karoo's long and brutal railway history, full of accidents, lost workers, and derailed trains, would be fertile ground for such imprints. Some of the eeriest reports, like time distortion or clock skipping ahead, are often attributed to microsleep, a brief and undetectable lapse of consciousness during stress or fatigue, particularly common in solo travelers or drivers in remote areas. For over a century, stories of the ghost train have circulated orally amongst railway workers, shepherds, and small town residents. Children were warned not to wander near the tracks. Travellers swapped stories over fires. These tales, passed down from generations, create a kind of cultural ego, one that conditions the brain to expect the strange. When someone sees a strange light or hear odd sound, their mind may fill in the blanks, recalling the legend and manifesting it into their experience. Even Elsa Becker's account, perhaps the most haunting of all, has been questioned. Some say her memory was warped by fear, loneliness, or childhood trauma. Others believe she saw something real, but it wasn't a ghost train. One local psychiatrist speculates she may have experienced hypnagogic hallucination, a vivid waking dream brought on by stress, sleep deprivation, or fear. Still, no one can explain the claw marks in the dirt or why her father, a practical man, locked up the house every time the whistle blew. They say the Karoo is empty, but that's not true. Something rolls across the desert. No track, no fire, just a memory of a train that never finished its journey. Whatever the explanation, science, suggestion, or something truly supernatural, the ghost train of the Karoo continues to haunt the imagination of those who live along the old tracks. And if you find yourself travelling through the Karoo one foggy night, listen closely. You might just hear it.